All right. Welcome back, all of you beautiful broken chairs out there. Welcome back to the JCP End Zone Perspective podcast. And I don't know who the guy in my bottom left is. I haven't seen him in
Who's
forever.
that dude?
I don't think he knows.
Me?
Yeah,
I
I don't
left
think
the
he
mic.
knows who he is,
Right.
right? But Chooch is back. I'm telling you right now, he is back, and hopefully here to stay. I don't know. He might abandon us next week, though.
We'll see what work looks like.
But we got an exciting episode for you guys tonight. We're bringing back NFL news. It took a little absence from last week. Then we're going to go into the Week 11 recap, and then we're going to go to our good, bad, and mez for our fantasy, and then we're going to have part 2 of If We Were GMs. We did this. Wasn't it week 1 or the preseason that we did
Preseason.
part 1? Yep, it was around the preseason that we did part 1. So we're gonna have the part 2 of that, and I'm really excited for what you guys have to say for that. But kicking it off with
storytelling.
Kicking it off with the NFL news. This is not a very eventful week, but some stuff happened today. Kicking it off slow though. Browns signing Joe Flacco because Deshaun Watson went down in the Ravens game last week. So it sucks to see Joe Flacco being rivals with the Ravens.
My biggest thing is with this move, like, you got DTR. Is the belief in DTR not there, or do you want to have another veteran teach him the ropes? Because honestly, it depends on how I see this move.
It still doesn't make sense to me because, like, you have DTR and whoever else is back there.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I don't know.
Their current quarterback room is.
Go ahead.
Sorry, current quarterback room is obviously Deshaun Watson out with an injury, PJ Walker, DTR, and then Joe Flacco. God, Joe Flacco's 38.
I mean, the only reason that I'm somewhat okay with this is because he does have bigger game experience. He does have a Super Bowl under his belt. So, I mean, it is nice to learn from him compared to PJ Walker, but I don't know. I mean, what is the contract deal on that, Jacob?
Hold on, I'll find it.
Let me look really quickly.
I was looking for it earlier. Hold on. I can't find it. I think it's like 1 year. I know it's 1 year.
They need 1 year, $1,500,000.
Oh, that's not too bad.
1.5. Yeah. So this was a pretty easy pickup, getting a quarterback with that much experience under his belt, especially a Super Bowl winner, just for 1.5 million. That's like nothing. That's like nothing to teams. Going on to, I can't tell if this one or the other one, the one that we're happy about, is the biggest shocker for today, or biggest news, I guess. But Colts releasing Shaquille Leonard, 4-time Pro Bowler Shaquille Leonard. It was signed off of waivers. It said, in a stunning move, Colts All-Pro linebacker Shaquille Leonard was waived by the team today. This is prompted by his declining performance after recent injuries. Leonard, who returned to the lineup this season after 2 back surgeries in 2022 to correct nerve issues, was getting inconsistent playing time as he tries to play into form. I'm trying to find out what could be next for Shaquille Leonard. What team do you think he could be good going to? I'm saying
any team. I mean, any team. He's that talented. Any team, he's that talented. And the Lions I don't think need an outside linebacker like that. They could, but any playoff team that's lacking some defensive spark, he's the guy to go get. Maybe he'll find his hunger again in a different place. Chargers. I know the Niners don't need him, but you can see the Niners making that move.
Yeah, he could really go into any team, just take that form.
Or maybe he goes to Oakland. I mean Vegas. Sorry. Yeah, now after next year, there's no team in Oakland. But the Raiders could use him. I think the Eagles could use another outside linebacker like that. You could pair him with Nakobe.
Richer.
or you could Dallas. Dallas has a way of revamping people.
Yeah, I mean, he could be a fun linebacker wherever he goes. I mean, if I'm a team that, like you're saying, has, struggled with defense lately, I'm definitely making a call and trying to get him signed, because if he can return to form, oh man, he could reignite any defense, especially like the Patriots.
Yeah, or if you're Buffalo, I'm making that move. I'm sorry.
Oh,
you need some more help somewhere in the defense, and getting him, he can play a little bit of coverage better than most outside linebackers. He might be a step slower on the rush, but the guy's got hands. He's got great awareness. So honestly, you're Buffalo, that's who I'm going for. Or Houston.
Yeah, Houston would be fun, especially because they've had a lot of linebacker injuries recently, so that would help out.
Yep.
Right. The thing that shocks me the most is just him getting released, though. Like, I get he's not been doing like the best and what he's been really known for ever since he joined, but like he's coming off right off of back surgery. You expect him to be like Ray Lewis out there the year after he had two back surgeries the year prior. I don't get that at all.
Well, and my thing too is like why wouldn't you try and get value out of him? Like, was nobody, interested in trading?
Oh, probably.
Nobody wants an all-pro linebacker.
Exactly.
Like that didn't make any sense either. I think when a team like that releases someone as big as that, it's just a huge waste.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be like I could see a front office like highballing and going, look, you're either going to give us, a first round, maybe even 2 first rounds, or we're not doing it. And teams could just be like, okay, you'll just release them and we'll pick them up that way.
Yeah.
Right. I could see that happening. But I think it's time to go to, I think, our favorite news of today, possibly of this season. Matt Canada has been fired from the Steelers.
Goodbye.
I think you have some words.
It is about time. Mike, what is taking so long? Hold on. I got this.
Yes.
Okay. Bring it in. All right. So what we're going to say is it's about time you guys fired this man, and simply it was embarrassing it took you guys this long to do it. You have the guy at quarterback. It wasn't a question. It's just, the offense sucks. Maybe it's everything else but the offense, right? Maybe the coordinator. But that's just me. That's just me. We haven't been saying that on this show for what? The whole season? This guy needs to get fired? Hell, my buddy and I have been saying it for 2 years. The guy should be gone. Cole and I have been saying since he was at LSU. Didn't deserve another job at anywhere other than the college level. But, God forbid,
even high school.
Jet sweep. Yeah, exactly. Like, the fact that it took you guys this long, I'm so upset about that. But what I am happy about, Matt Canada's gone. Kenny Pickett can shine. Najee Harris can run all over people. And we're going to see Pickens doing the grab. So,
yes.
You know what I got to say about that, everyone? Good for you, Matt Canada. Good luck finding a job somewhere else because your offense is stale, stagnant, and old.
Steelers Nation, let's ride.
I cannot wait to see him next week coaching for Little League.
Southern Presbyterian High School in southeastern Alabama.
If you want to know what Mike Tomlin had to say about this situation, because he was obviously asked about it, he said, "I did not come to this decision lightly, to be really transparent with you," which, Mike, you can be honest, it was not a hard decision. It is my role to absorb and protect those that I work with. And this doesn't feel like that. Obviously, I'm not interested in assigning blame or deflecting in any way. I wish that head coaches didn't have to be like respective. But
the thing is,
I wish they could just be like, this guy sucks.
That's a very Mike Tomlin statement. Like that's Mike Tomlin. That's always been Mike Tomlin. He's always had his coaches' backs. So for him to fire a guy mid-season, well, halfway through the season says a lot.
Well, and I will say this too, Mississippi. Me?
Sorry, I heard earlier that this is the first Steelers coach, like offensive head coach, defensive, to be fired mid-season since like the 40s.
Yeah.
So
it's been a while.
That's how bad this.
That's not how they do it in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I will say this: Mississippi State, you found your new head coach. Welcome in, Matt Canada, everybody. Believe me, Mississippi State. I don't want that to happen, but knowing your track record and awful hires,
and how bad your AD is, yeah.
I'm not saying Michael Leach. Everybody else. So.
Wow. Tomlin said, and this is a quote from him, "You got to score touchdowns in this business," Tomlin said. "You got to win games in this business." And it's just the totality of it, and it's just where we are today. Wow.
That's the most polite.
It was funny, too,
ever.
because every Instagram, Twitter, like anything about the Steelers, it's just fire Matt Canada, fire Matt Canada, fire Matt Canada. Every post I've seen about the Steelers is fire Matt Canada under the comments.
Don't blame them.
But yeah, believe me, JCP is happy that Matt Canada is gone, because even though as a Ravens fan we're division rivals, I cannot underlook the talent on this team that was being utterly wasted. So I'm happy for the Steelers.
Yep.
So, see, I'm not completely petty against my rivals. Only one. Only one rival. Yeah.
It's like I have a soft spot for the Eagles a little bit, but that's because I'm also a Philly sports fan. So,
all right, ready to go into Week 11, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah,
I think we are going into Week 11 to start things off on Thursday Night Football. We finally had an entertaining Thursday night game. I never thought I'd see the day. The Bengals and Ravens. Ravens taking this one 34 to the Bengals 20 points. Joe Burrow going down with an injury, but also earlier in the game, Mark Andrews, tight end for the Ravens, going down with I think it was an ankle injury that is potentially going out for the season. But John Harbaugh said that he can potentially come back for the playoffs because he's going into surgery today, actually, I seen. But overall, this game was so entertaining to watch, and it's so relieving seeing an actual, football game on Thursday when all we've been seeing is like 9 to 14 game.
I was gonna say I didn't know they played football on Thursday till this game, to be honest.
Me neither. I thought they were playing like freaking cricket or something.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like for the longest time. I'll take the next crack at this one here. I just want to say, this was fun. I could not believe how much fun this game was. Pizza was saying. And I think they did a really good job. Both teams did a really good job of just fighting till the end. And really kind of laying out your cards and pulling out all the stops. I mean, it sucks about Joe Burrow. I mean, there's no way to go around it. He's a top quarterback, and when you get injured, that sucks. So hopefully he'll have a good return and a great comeback next season. But Jake Browning is not as bad as people think. I think he can, keep this Bengals team.
I thought he was going to do way worse.
Yeah, I mean, 8 for 14.
I thought he was going to pick the ball off 5 times. I thought he was going to pick the ball off 5 times and have 7 interceptions. I thought it was going to be bad when he stepped in. Never played a snap in football. Never played a snap.
Yeah. I think this Bengals team, believe it or not, I know I sound crazy, could still make the playoffs even without Joe. They do have the talent for that. I don't know about going as far as I thought initially because of that. I mean, that's a huge injury, but maybe if they catch fire. As for this Ravens team, I mean, what really is there to say? I mean, it's the Ravens. They've been playing hot all year. They really, showed out. This defense did a good job of just holding this offense that is very prolific to only 20 points. And shout out to OBJ, finally 116 yards, 4 receptions.
I was going to say this.
I love it.
That like 4 receptions and then getting 116 yards from those 4 is incredible. Like from the way I see it, when you have a good receiving game is when you have very like not very low, but when you have like a very small number of receptions and then a ridiculous number of yards. And this is what I see with OBJ on the score sheet. Incredible. But Nelson Aguilar also got a touch. The 2 people to get a touchdown this game are Rashad Bateman and then Nelson Aguilar. Nelson Aguilar's touchdown was insane, by the way, if you've seen it. It was a tipped. He was through to Isaiah Likely, but it was tipped off by a receiver, like not a receiver, a defense
DB,
and then it like tipped off. Yeah, whatever. And then Nelson Aguilar was running right behind him and then caught it and then ran all the way in for the touchdown. This was at like the 42, around midfield. Like it was just incredible.
Gus Edwards had a good day running. He had 12 of 62, 2 touchdowns. Lamar like running performances, 9 of 54. You can't really complain on that one, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Odell's 4, 116, pretty good. Also, 5 sacks for the Ravens.
Yeah,
5 sacks.
I'm saying it right now. Jadeveon Clowney is easily the best pickup that we had for the offseason. The best signing that we've had for the Ravens roster. Like he's been getting pressure every single game that he's been in. Like he's been getting nonstop pressure, amazing plays, getting around the O-line, just incredible from Jadeveon Clowney. Overall, I called this game of the week. Which is crazy for me to say for a Thursday night game. Well, you have to think about it. I always look forward to Ravens Bengals games. Like these are my favorite games for the year. Going into the next game though, I'm just happy through and through. Bears lose to the Lions in the last 3 minutes into the fourth quarter. The Bears had a 98% chance of winning this and blew it all away. Sealing it off with a Lions safety by Aiden Hutchinson, the ball going all the way back into the end zone. Just incredible. Incredible performance from the Lions getting all the way up to score to get this win.
Wait.
I didn't. What?
Hold on, bring it in. I need to have a talk with Bears fans. Okay. Bears fans, let's talk about something here real quick. Okay.
Get in the huddle.
Do we still hate Justin Fields? I just genuinely I need that to be answered because this game right here against a really good Detroit team, he showed out. And nobody else really did much for the Bears aside from him. So can we stop, please, with this whole get rid of Justin Fields thing and really focus on the things that hurt your team, like no supporting cast? Please. Your O-line is awful. Your wide receiving play is mediocre, or should I just say DJ Moore alone and maybe Cole Kmet every now and again? Your running game is Justin Fields. Go figure. That guy's kind of good. And your defense, it's not great.
It exists.
I mean it's there. It has its moments, but then it just
that's about it.
Yeah. So please, Bears fans, for the love of God, stop the stupidity of Justin Fields is the problem in Chicago. Signed, everyone. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah, overall, I'm just so impressed with the Lions, how they've been doing so far. I know they didn't start off hot, but once we got to that fourth, the Lions, not the
never
Bears.
mind. I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean they didn't start off hot? They're 8-2, but never mind.
I'm talking about this game.
Yeah, I realized that.
They started off amazing. But then Jared Goff had 3 interceptions. That kills me a little bit. But
that's a typical Jared Goff game, though.
He made up for it.
I mean, also a number that's down is the Lions only had 2 sacks.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Bears O-line came to play They were ready.
Still doesn't fix the full issues, but I do agree for this game.
Yeah, they showed up for one game, but every
left
dog
the
has
bus.
its bone.
They left
the locker room for most of the game. They left the locker room till it mattered.
And then the last play of the game, they did not show up.
No.
But again, it's Aiden Hutchinson. What else can you really do against Aiden? Going on to the next game,
like the Chiefs did.
You could, and then not get called on it. But
yeah.
going on to the next game, Browns upsetting the Steelers 13-10. I mean, Joe Flacco that signing must work, I guess, because they're getting this win against Pittsburgh, and I think this is the loss. It wasn't Joe Flacco. Oh wait, crap.
No,
it was DTR.
I meant
know
DTR,
your facts, guy.
Come on.
Sorry. We were talking about Joe Flacco a little bit, and I was getting him in my head. But I think this is the loss that finally made Pittsburgh realize this Canada guy really, has to go. And I'm somewhat happy for this win against for the Browns because that's what gave the Pittsburgh away.
The bad man is gone, Pittsburgh.
When Pickens only has 6 targets and Deontay Johnson has 8, there's a problem. George Pickens also had 1 carry for -1 rushing yard. Kenny Pickett had 4. He was sacked 3 times. He was hit 4 times. Cleveland had 9 tackles for loss to Pittsburgh's 5. Sorry, I was in a different train there. But Pittsburgh did have 6 pass deflects, so the defense is doing its job. They had a pick off a DTR. But I mean, Cleveland really couldn't run the ball.
No,
that's what I noticed too. You know what made me notice that? DTR's 43 attempts. That's what made me notice it. That they were not running the ball at all.
Yeah, but they had 29 rushes. Yeah, but they had 29 rushes, so it's not like they didn't actively try to level it out.
Well, out of all the backs, they had 25 because Cedric Tillman and DTR had 4. So, that's still a decent amount. It's just, I kind of see your point, Jacob. 43, that's ridiculous. Also, I want to say this, thank God it finally got addressed. Wait, hold on just a second. Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, George Pickens, Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Darnell Washington, Pat Fryerman. And that's just to name a few. And you put up 10 points.
Yeah.
How? This is a team that should have 30 plus every game.
Yes.
And you put up 10.
Yes.
Oh my! I'm driving.
We're starting to realize.
Oh, they finally. It took them this long to finally figure out. Hey, winning games by the skin of our teeth with this offense is kind of unacceptable. And it's like, no shit, Tomlin.
Sometimes I wonder if Mike was just kind of hoping there would be flashes of brilliance, and he'd be like, "Oh, I'm justified to keep this guy. He's giving him a chance. He shows up when I need him to." But no, you should have fired him in the offseason last year. But just an idiot with a microphone, folks.
I mean, he did have 1 good game this season, to be fair.
When Kenny Pickett's average pass is 3.8 yards, when the guy was averaging 12 in college, there's usually not much of a decline like that there. So, come on. Come on.
So I have a question for both of you. With the firing of Matt Canada, and for what I've seen, I don't see the replacement for Matt Canada. I think it might be Tomlin calling the coach.
Tomlin's probably going to call the offense, or
their next opponent is next week against the Bengals.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, you come out slinging
Bengals. Do you think they come out singing? All right.
Yes.
Cole, what are your predictions?
I just
next week against the Bengals.
You're finally freed. You're freed from the evil warmongering frickin' jet sweeper handing off at the middle guy. So yeah, well, okay, maybe warmonger is not the right word, but I just say that because
Third and long.
like
Let's run it up the middle.
he destroyed this,
jet sweep.
He destroyed this offense. That's why I called him a warmonger, for the record. But I mean, yeah, you throw it. You throw it 50 million times. I don't want to see one rush. Throw the ball all over. Kill them.
Yeah.
Score a million.
Kenny's got one 300-yard plus 2 touchdown or 3 touchdown game in his career. Tommy DeVito has
2. Numero dos.
Dos Gamos.
So Steelers 89 to the Bengals 3. Okay.
Yeah.
No, more like Steelers 35 to the Bengals 25.
That's more realistic.
I like that one.
Okay. No, I call my prediction. I call my prediction more realistic.
Watch.
Imagine.
It happens.
Pickett does not get 1 yard.
All Kenny Pickett does is
This would be a
hand the ball
great
off.
YouTube. This would be a great short if this actually happens.
and then Kenny Pickett runs the ball, doesn't throw the ball at all today. Some question why they even fired Matt Canada when they have less of an offense now.
No passing
Depressed
attempts from
Pickett,
George.
POV.
Find out
No
next
passing
time.
attempts from Kenny Pickett. All right, going to. I think this is the most upsetting game. The Chargers 20 versus the Packers 23.
I don't want to talk about it. Do we really have to?
Yes, we have.
Ah,
It's
fine.
the weekend
Fine.
review.
You know what? Let's talk about it, okay? How many
talk about it.
times do I have to come onto the show and say, fire Brandon Staley? I've said it like 15 times, okay? I'm sick of saying it. This guy is the biggest joke in biggest joke of a head coach in football. He is. This dude, he blows this talent. You have Justin Herbert, you have Austin Eckler, you have Keenan Allen, you have Quentin Johnston. You have a great defense that
Great.
should just, dude, this team should be a playoff team, and I mean a deep playoff team. And the fact that they are a joke right now, 4-6. I mean, this is
Charger way.
unacceptable. Fire him. Fire him.
Last
Fire
season-
him. Do I have to say fire him again?
Watch, they can hire Matt Canada.
Chooch. If that happens, I'm going to have mark this down. Mark this down, everybody. If that happens, I'm going to have at least a 35-minute rant. Mark it down, because if that happens, expect it on the show. And I'm not kidding. 35.
35.
35 minutes. I'm
But yeah.
sorry. Justice for the Chargers.
Staley needs to be fired. But if Jordan Love is the franchise quarterback in Green Bay, is this his coming out party?
No.
27 of 40, 322 yards, 2 touchdowns. I mean, Aaron Rodgers would have had like 4 with those yard numbers, but is this like his coming out party? Like, hey, we just need to get guys around me so I can do shit, or was this kind of like a what is Staley doing?
This is a what is Staley doing with this defense? But that's what I feel like this is. I don't think this is a coming out party for Jordan Love. I think this is Jordan Love's like, this is my game, guys. Especially when no.
Jordan Love you know what? I'm not going to say anything yet. I might have something to say later, so keep tuned. Keep it tuned. That's all I'm going to say. Jordan Love is not the answer.
But yeah, this Chargers team, I feel bad for. This Chargers team, all realistically, they could be second in the division. They shouldn't be fourth.
Number 1.
That's the Raiders. That's their parking spot.
This should be the number 2 team in the AFC right now,
spot,
behind the Bills, and they're not. No, the Bills should be the number 1 team, but they're not. That's
It kind of reminds me if the 49ers had no coaching. This team, on paper, this team is great. You got Justin Herbert, you got Keenan Allen, you got the best safety in football with Derwin James, and then you got Joey Bosa. All right. Currently, he should be, is what I'm saying. and then Joey Bosa, which he got injured, unfortunately, ankle injury, and then you just have the Packers put 23 points on you. This was bad. This was a bad showing, not just by the defense, but also the offense. The amount of dropped passes, like straight in the hands of receivers, that were just like, it was ridiculous.
It's depressing.
There was a pass that was thrown right to Keenan Allen, like hit right in the chest and just bounced off. It was ridiculous.
No, I'm absolutely sick of this. I have nothing else to say aside from fire him. Please fire him. Put this fan base, give them some hope, please.
And replace him with
Matt Canada. He's the one that coached away that game against Jacksonville last year. Literally coached it away.
Jacob, you better hope that's not true. I'm telling you, 35 full minutes, and I can go for that long when I'm pissed.
Jen, I know he can. So I'm just going to walk away if that happens. I'll put a go on fishing sign here and just walk away.
Or my realistic answer is replace him with Jim Harbaugh.
I would take that.
That's my realistic answer. All right, going on to the next game though. Raiders. Honestly, I expected the Dolphins to put up way more against the Raiders, if I'm being completely honest.
That Raiders team
this Raiders team, I think Cole is happy.
Yes. We didn't die.
Yeah, okay? But I think Cole is happy because this is the sign. Yeah. This is the sign of the Raiders can come back. The Raiders are not a horrible franchise. And I know I'm saying that when they lost. But putting up 13 points against the Dolphins and, having the Dolphins only get held to 20 points is really impressive as far as
Raiders going to Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
My guy, they're not making the playoffs. I'm sorry to break it to you.
We're winning the Super Bowl. Don't care.
I mean, they're 5-6. Nothing's out of the question yet. They can win out. They could. They're not going to, but they could. But they want to play for it. They want to play for this guy, though. They want to play for Pierce. They want to play for him. You could tell the locker room's lit. They must have hated playing for Josh McDaniels because
I don't blame them. I hated watching him.
Now Aiden O'Connell's your starter, and he's just going out there. I mean, he had 3 picks, but
he's a rookie. Give him time.
Exactly. He still threw for 271 yards, though.
Yeah, and it's Josh Jacobs getting 14 carries for 39 yards. Did not see much from the running game, I'm gonna be honest. But the passing game, Devontae Adams actually got a touchdown. Congratulations to Devontae Adams again. Back to back for getting thrown the ball as well. 13 season.
When you don't have a male stripper throwing you the football, it makes a difference.
I got him.
And then as for what Pizza was saying, though, about the run game, I mean, Josh Jacobs, I would like to see him get a little bit more involved, but ultimately, I'm not too mad at this game. Like I said, only giving up 20, losing to 7 to a playoff team, I'll take it.
Yeah. Especially the Dolphins with how much they're tearing through bad teams.
All right.
Well, you would too.
Tua Tagovailoa throwing for 325 yards with 28 out of 39. 2 TDs, 1 interception. I want to see Tyreek Hill getting 10 of those receptions for 146 yards and 1 TD. Now, he has a hand injury, which might take him out for next week. But do you think that on the pace that he's doing right now, do you think Tyreek Hill will break Calvin Johnson's record for most receiving yards?
Again, it's kind of hard when you play mostly bad teams with an awful schedule with a jacked up offense. Just saying, it was just Calvin Johnson's is more impressive because it was literally just him and Matthew Stafford. Right. Everyone knew where the ball was going. It was going to Megatron. It wasn't going anywhere else. It was going to Megatron. No ifs or buts about it.
Put triple coverage.
Yeah, and he still called the football. Tyreek's just open because no one's covering him.
And he's fast.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Megatron's has more weight than Tyreek's. It's still impressive, but you could cover a lot harder back then than you can now. And like Tom Brady said, there's a lot of mediocrity in football now, and you're getting results like this from it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Jalen.
Oh wow, pizza! You're dying, bud.
So Jalen Ramsey. I'm not even on that game right now. Hold on, I'll get to it. Give me a second. I'll step in here. So, Jalen Ramsey. Hold on, let me get it. Jalen Ramsey, did his thing. Showed up. Where is it's not even showing me interceptions on here. There it is. Jalen Ramsey had 2 picks this week. Cool.
Yep. 2 picks.
And hey, Isaiah Polamau, is that how you say it? Polamoa? You guys had 1 interception.
I was gonna say, don't ask me for name pronunciation.
Oh yeah, sorry. But no, there's a lot to be happy for if you're a Raiders fan in that situation. Oh, he's gone.
Yeah, he'll be back.
Yeah,
but
so we'll move on.
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta split this up now. On to the next game, Commanders and Giants. Frankly, a welcome sight for Giants fans and a not so welcome sight for Commanders fans, as the Giants hang a 30 spot on a team which they haven't done since they played Arizona earlier in the year. Tommy DeVito, 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. Saquon, 14 rushes, 84 yards. Meanwhile, Sam Howell, 31 of 45, 255 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Brian Robinson Jr., though, 17 carries, 73 yards. Chris Rodriguez Jr., 6 carries, 43 yards. Colt, it was fumbles. There was 4 fumbles. 3 of them were lost. The Giants had 3 picks, a lot of self-inflicted wounds. Did the Giants put the nail in the coffin for Ron Rivera keeping this job here in Washington with the talent he has?
I hope so, because, realistically, when you look at this Washington team, I mean, they have, like you said, so much talent. And to see it go to waste like it has, especially this week, I mean, you got Sam Howell, you got Brian Robinson, you got Chris Rodriguez, you got, Derek Gore's on the team. He's okay. I mean, he's nothing special. But my thing is, and also Scary Terry. I mean, 5 receptions for 43 yards. I'm embarrassed, to say the least, with this team. I mean, you gotta figure out a way to do... What? Wait.
I think.
Oh, there we go.
I'm
okay,
back.
I'm live. Okay. But as I was saying, with this game, welcome back, Jacob. You gotta find a way to get your playmakers in a better position to, have them
Oh
be more
my god, this is horrible.
Oh, are you?
Hey, get out of my spot for one. Hold on.
What
are you fucking doing?
Get out of my spot.
Doesn't matter.
That's my spot. Yes, it does. That's my spot.
Well, we'll pull this together.
That was a really bad lag spike. But
okay.
Where are we at?
We're Giants and Commanders here. Okay, so as I was saying, for Washington, you gotta move on from Ron Rivera. In my opinion, if you want this team to be more successful, because he is definitely not it for this team. And for the Giants, like, hey, you did what you had to do. This team showed heart and soul for once this season, which was really nice. Tommy DeVito did a really good job. I mean, he was efficient with the football. He had 3 touchdowns. Saquon Barkley, would have liked to see him get a little bit more involved, but he did his thing. 14 carries, 83 yards. Just kind of a big win. But honestly, and Chooch, this is more tailored to you since you're a Giants fan. Did you want to see them win this game, or would you rather have had them, lose out for that pick?
So you and me have had this conversation before about what I thought the Giants should have done in the offseason with Saquon and Daniel Jones. I thought Saquon should have been tagged or signed to a year, and then Daniel either should have been signed to a year and tagged, one of the two. and figure it out for this year. Let this year play out. And right now, Saquon's the guy that was worth all the money. Daniel Jones has not been. Yeah, he's been hurt half the year, but when he has played, he's had one good game, and that one good game was against Arizona. Besides that, I mean, he's had no time, but at the same time, you've had no time your other years. So what's different this year?
Right.
But you want to see this because Tommy DeVito has essentially had 2 weeks of preparation. He had half of last week before the game, and then, that happened. And then you have all of this week, and you're seeing what we saw with him at Syracuse, right? When he gets into it and he knows what he's doing and he's comfortable, he's super efficient with the football. He rarely makes mistakes. He has a bit of a fumbling problem, but most quarterbacks who run do. But Tommy DeVito, he's not a bad quarterback. He can manage a game well, and he can throw for the football well. He can sling it, as we're seeing here. He was able to sling it in Syracuse. He can sling it here.
Right.
So it's kind of, I think Daniel Jones comes back and is going to be here for the last week of the year, the last 2 weeks of the year. He plans on coming back soon, but if Tommy DeVito can show up and play good football at quarterback, why do you start Daniel Jones?
Let DeVito cook.
Exactly.
Let him cook.
And I'm for it. I'm all for whatever gets this team to play better. Like, if these guys are going to click better with someone that's not Daniel Jones, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here for it.
This is kind of like the Zach Wilson situation last year, except instead of him being benched for not being responsible, it's a guy getting injured. This guy is going to come in and do way better than a dude that's making $45 million a year, and then is going to just get the whole team behind him. So I'm hoping that's what's going to happen for this Giants team.
My point is also, if you're the Giants front office, you're kind of looking at Josh Dobbs, seeing what he does. You're looking at DTR, seeing how he comes in. Minshew, seeing how he comes in. All three of these guys can come in and do stuff. So, there could be a thing where the quarterback comes in and he just takes the lead by storm. And the next year, he might not be good. Yeah. We've seen this happen before. I mean, Tommy could be the answer. He might not be. We might just stick with Daniel Jones, or we could draft Caleb or Bo or Mike or Penix or Drake. Who knows? But at the end of the day, if it's going to make this offense click better and Dave Hall's confident with the move, I'm behind it 100%.
See, and that's what I like about this too. I mean, you addressed what I was going to say. I mean, the one-year wonder quarterback, we've seen it so many times that, you would hate to get rid of Daniel Jones and then see, Tommy DeVito regress a lot and really not be as good as we thought. So, I'm with you though. I think if you go, any of the quarterbacks in the draft and you keep DeVito and even, maybe even start looking for a trade for Daniel Jones or keep him if he's in rhythm. But, there's a lot of fun to go around for this Giants front office, and hopefully they execute in a correct manner.
Yeah, I think so too. Oh, I seen a point the other day on social media that I want your guys' opinion on. Good. So I seen someone say that the football is football is kind of like eras in positions. The 90s was the running backs. The 2000s to the 2000. No, I'd say the 2000s is like the defense, kind of like the defense of the whole, right? Or maybe linebackers. And then 2010s is quarterbacks. And then the 2020s will be the wide receivers. What do you think about that?
Choo-choo,
See, I think the 80s were the running backs. And the 90s were kind of like the quarterback receivers. Was kind of split, right? Was kind of split in that decade there in the 90s where you had really good quarterbacks and really good receivers. And then the early 2000s was like the evolution of the quarterback.
Yeah.
And the early 10s was kind of the revolution of the running back. And tight end and linebacker kind of evolved with each other here in the mid 2010s into the early 2020s. It's like a baseball, right? Hitter, we're going through the age of the hitters change, the pitchers get more dominant, so on and so forth. All the sports have their fluctuations, and it all just needs to balance itself out based on needs.
Right. That was a lot more complicated than
No, I mean, I agree.
This is the position for this era, and then that one for that era. But yeah, I wanted to bring that point up at some point in this episode, and then because I really like that take.
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on, what you're looking at and in terms of how the position has evolved because there's so many definitions, I guess you could say, of what you're looking for. Because, if we're saying like when did quarterbacks evolve into being, rushers and being dual threats, then, that's a whole nother topic that, we can cover. If we're talking pure passer, I mean, that's different. So I think it really needs to be narrowed down to what specifically we're looking for in a player to have a true answer to that. But let's move on to the next game.
Right. Cowboys, not surprisingly, beating a pretty bad team in the Panthers. Panthers still, like, I feel bad for the Panthers, honestly. They traded their pick from this year to get the number 1 overall for last year to get a pretty, as what we're seeing as of right now, a pretty lackluster quarterback in Bryce Young. I cannot help.
That's not fair. That's not fair. The kid's got no one around him. That's not fair.
I know
to say.
that their team sucks, and I know that everyone around him, but he's still, as I'm looking at him, pretty bad. Getting 123 yards out of 16 out of 29, 1 TD, and then 1 interception. It's not looking good for this Panthers team.
But Dallas's defense had 11 quarterback hits out of the so the 18 times he got 18 times he didn't get hit were probably 16 completions. So 16 of 18 without getting rushed or sacked is pretty good if you ask me. And he's playing a stout defense. So 123. I mean, it's his first time playing this team, and he's got no O-line. He's got Chuba Hubbard in the backfield and Miles Sanders, who can't run anywhere because they have no time to react to a run. So I don't know.
That is true. I'm not talking about this game specifically. I'm just talking about like in this.
No, I'm just saying as a whole. When you're getting hit all the time, it's the same thing with Daniel Jones. Like, yeah, you have no time and you're doing the best you can, but like when you have no time to react and you're constantly looking around, you're gonna make mistakes. When you're constantly getting rushed to make your reads, you're always gonna make a mistake.
Right. No, I agree with that. And to add on to that, I mean, look, I have said this quite a lot, and it really hasn't changed. I don't really like Bryce Young a lot. Haven't since college, so I mean, you'd expect me to hate him, but I really don't. I mean, I think he's done, like Chooch was saying, kind of the best of what's around him. So, I really, and this is the problem, and I'm not necessarily saying you, Jacob, but I'm just saying people who do think that way, like, you can't judge a quarterback off of 1 year. And that is something that is plaguing successful quarterbacks anymore because we're starting to see, and I'm not even going to say starting, we're at like the midpoint of seeing people, get all angry over a quarterback after 2 or 3 years. And it's like, you guys do realize it's a huge development loop. You got to get the team chemistry. Unless you're an instant leader like Joe Burrow was, say what you will, but he was that one exception that really fit in with the team. I'm not including Herbert because Herbert walked into a lot of talent around him. It's completely different, in my opinion. Bryce Young walked into nobody. So, I mean, very limited at that. Like when Adam Thielen, who is like 30 million years old, is your best wideout, there's a problem with your team. It's a full rebuild, and I think they understand that. So, again, I'm not a Bryce Young supporter by any regards, but you do got to give the guy, props for doing what he can with the very limited pieces around him. And like Cheech was saying, 11 QB hits in this game. You're gonna die. I mean, you're not gonna do much, especially against may arguably the best defense in the NFL. I mean, me personally, I'd have to go with the Ravens, but I think the Cowboys could make a case.
Yeah, and also the Cowboys had 7 sacks.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't really talking about Bryce Young. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's doing pretty bad, but I'm not saying that was his fault. I'm just saying that I feel bad for the Panthers organization that they traded a bunch of stuff over to get that number 1 pick last year, and then got a quarterback, and then put him in this team that really is just making him fail. And
well, the problem is ownership there traded away his 3 weapons in like 4 years. DJ. What was the other? Rondell, Rodney, and Curtis.
Christian McCaffrey too.
Curtis. 4, and Curtis Samuel. So I mean, the Panthers CMC front office is kind of a walking trash can. So
yeah,
I always forget CMC was a Panther. I always forget that. But I have a question about the Cowboys, though. Do you think that they're a fraudulent team despite their win record?
So I said this. So my buddy has been saying this for a couple years, and he's a big Packers fan. So I know I said Packers, but you get where I'm going the second I said Packers, if you know this.
Right.
Mike McCarthy can't coach talent anymore. He won that Super Bowl, and it's like all the coaching talent in the world just right down the toilet. I shared a thing to Cole earlier, actually, that I believe the leading receivers in the league last week were the top 5 or 4 were all former Cowboys. They were on the roster literally last year.
Yep.
That's so bad.
Literally on the roster last year.
And then they leave and they do so much better.
What was it? One was Houston, and then there was CeeDee Lamb. There was Schultz.
It was CeeDee Lamb, Noah Brown, Amari Cooper, Dalton Schultz, and I can't remember.
That was the 5.
I thought there was one more.
No, that was the 5 because CeeDee's on the team and everyone else is gone. But I think it's Mike McCarthy. So Jerry Jones is too involved with this team. He needs to hire a solo GM and let the GM just GM. You're the owner. He's thinking like, I got all this money. Let me just sign a guy I know because I got favors, like, all right, whatever. Yes, Mike McCarthy can do whatever with your defense. He always has a great defense. But if no one remembers his last 3 years in Green Bay, 2-3 years, Aaron Rodgers is the only reason that offense was remotely good.
Right.
Yeah.
It was literally the only reason. Mike McCarthy had nothing to do with that. And he wasn't like bashing Mike, but he was subtly saying, this isn't good. So
this is what we expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm bringing that up because I see 7-3, but I don't feel like they could be they should be a 7-3 team. And then I look at their schedule, I go, oh, this is why they're a 7-3 team. They have nobody to face except for the 49ers and the Eagles. And then they lost to those teams.
And then the Cardinals, apparently they're
Yeah, apparently the Cardinals are the best team in the NFL, beating the Cowboys.
So I want to answer from my side here because I agree with what Chooch was saying too. But for me, like this team they're in the right location because that is the Texas way. I mean, if you look at college football, it's the same story. Texas is always overrated. Yes, I know technically this year they only have 1 loss, but I mean, just look around. It's the culture. Every time they're in a big game, they blow it. Every time, they play a cupcake, they win against the cupcake. I mean, that's the way it is. And you wonder why Texas football in any regard doesn't win, a national title or a Super Bowl. That's the reason. They need a whole state culture change.
I agree. I think that has a hand in it. But I just like as a Cowboys, I wouldn't say a hater because I don't really hate any teams in the NFL. But as a Cowboys disliker, I hate seeing that 7-3.
I hate the Cowboys.
They easily have probably the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Yeah, when you beat all the bad teams, when you destroy all the bad teams, beat all the bad teams, and lose to the great teams, there's a problem.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You're either the best bad team or you're the second best okay team.
Exactly, yeah. And the worst part is, like, they're gonna have their fan base all hooting and hollering about them winning a Super Bowl like they do every year. And then they get to the playoffs and they lose in the wild card or divisional. It happens every year.
But like, it's coaching. Like, there's the talent's there. They can say it every year, and it's always a possibility with this team because the defense is always going to be good and always going to be good.
It always has been, yeah.
Always. Like we've said, I think it was like a month ago I said this. Even a bad year for a Dallas Cowboys team is a top 10 defense in the league.
Right.
Like, so it's clearly not that. It's just your O-line, not your O-line. Your O-line is also very good too. Your offensive, whatever, the juice just isn't settling right.
Mm-hmm. And also, too, like, everybody wants to blame Dak Prescott, and don't get me wrong, I'm not, like, the biggest Dak supporter, too, but, like, you cannot be serious, because it was there before Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott didn't bring this whole thing about. This was even back with Romo.
It was before. It wasn't even Romo's fault 90% of the time, because he was like the Aaron Rodgers thing when Mike McCarthy was there. Yeah. All this offense, why aren't we winning football games?
Well, you're winning. You're just not
winning the ones that matter.
Not winning the big ones.
I get the idea what McCarthy was. Okay, if he can get us to the playoffs into that game, he's got experience. But the dude hasn't been there in like 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It has been a while.
All right,
who's next?
Matt, you ready to go on to the next game?
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, going on. I almost said Texans.
Wow.
Titans versus Jaguars. Jaguars are a confusing team because you see them put on a show against teams, and they're pretty good and hoping to go a little deep in the playoffs this year, and then they lose to the 49ers, which is not like a thing to gripe over, and then you destroy the Titans. I'm more confused about the Titans, if anything, because your quarterback room is more confusing than anything going on with the Patriots. I feel like, because you got Ryan Tannehill sucking, and then you finally acknowledged it,
benched for Levis.
Yeah, you finally acknowledged it, and then you put it in for Will Levis, who had a pretty. I corrected myself. Who had a really good game, and then now he's doing bad.
No, he's not.
Well, wait, what game were you watching?
What are you watching?
What game were you watching?
Hold. Put down the pitchforks.
He's 13 to 17, 158 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions with 143 rating.
Put down the pitchforks. Let me correct myself. I don't mean bad. I meant that you're still not winning games. That's what I mean, is that you guys are still not winning games. When you have a top 5 running back in Derrick Henry, maybe not this season, but
his prime's gone.
No,
yeah, prime's gone. It should be top 5 running back, but it's not looking good for this Titans team.
Vrabel's offensive schemes have always sucked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But this has also always been the problem in Tennessee, like it's been in LA. You get all these guys there that should be good.
Which LA?
Chargers.
Okay.
Not the Rams? What the hell?
There's 2 LA teams. I want to know.
Rams have one of these. The Rams have one.
Jeez.
But I mean, it's always Vrabel's offense is always going to be lackluster. As much as I hate to say that, it's always going to be lackluster. He's got a fantastic defensive scheme. Hell, maybe he moves. The rumor has it he's going to the New England end of the year. He's in Nashville already.
Oh,
yeah. People are saying Belichick's retiring, and well, think about it. He was a Patriot. He was a part of the Patriot way. Belichick is the reason he started coaching.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just past it. And if the Patriot way is really Tom, and it's not Vrabel, then they should suck.
Yeah.
Like if it's not Vrabel and Belichick, then they should suck when Vrabel takes over.
Factual statement.
And you give him Christian Gonzalez and that defense, and watch what happens to the AFC. I'm not saying this as a happy person. Just watch what happens to the AFC East next year. It might be the best thing to ever happen to the AFC East since the Bills got decent.
I also do want to say this. Think about it too, because Vrabel, like Chooch was saying, like the offense sucks there, but it's the reason that no good quarterback has played there in years.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get a good quarterback, that's why he only got 17 attempts. Like, this team pisses me off because of that. Like, you have a really good quarterback and you only give him 17 passes.
Well, and they only ran 15 times that game with their running backs.
Yep.
15 times. I mean, granted, Jacksonville had the ball for ever in that game, but come on.
Like, I understand being balanced and all, but like, let the kid sling it. He was hot.
Yeah.
The most upsetting thing to me is this stat. Derrick Henry, it took Derrick Henry 10 attempts to get as many yards as Chris Moore got on one.
Yeah, but
for rushing attempts.
Yeah, but when Derrick Henry's in, you almost know where it's going to go. You put your big guys to rush the interior, because if he breaks it outside, he's going to run through everyone. So everyone knows that. I think Henry's prime's gone after that injury. I think the game kind of evolved a little too quick, and we knew Derrick Henry was either going to have a long career or a short career, because usually guys that big don't have. Look at Brandon Jacobs.
Oh, what a beast!
Look at his shelf life. It was legitimately 8 years.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you think that with good coaching and maybe a season off, do you think Derrick Henry could come back to his prime?
I don't think he needs a year. I think that year off hurt him, but I think this off season now, he's got a full playing season back under his knee.
Right.
Okay.
And and you got to think about it. Running back injuries and quarterback injuries and stuff, like the guys that shift their weight a lot, they're probably playing a bit paranoid.
Oh, yeah.
So once you get that first season back under your belt, or the first 15 or so games, it's like, okay, I'm good. I can do this, and then you get back at it in the offseason. We could very well, and I hope we do, see Derrick Henry bounce back next year. I'm not saying he's past his prime. I was just saying he could. Like, I was just saying, it's looking like
possibility.
It's looking like it, but that's a shame, because the guy has nothing to show for it, and he carried that offense for so long. But the offense needs to be better. There needs to be a better scheme in place in Tennessee.
And also think about this too, like, and this is a parallel I've heard nobody say before, but it just kind of clicked to me. Think about that Alabama offense that he was a part of in college. It was very much so, game manager, quarterback, give it to Derrick Henry a million times a game, he'll carry us through. Then he gets to Tennessee, and it's literally the same thing. Game manager, quarterback, give the ball to Derrick Henry about 9 million times, he'll carry us to be good. And then, all of a sudden, you had this gunslinger in there, Will Levis, and it's like, wait a minute, we don't need to, fully rely on Henry. And, thank you, Derrick Henry, first off, for what you did at Tennessee. But now it's like, will he be able to adapt to a more pass-heavy offense? I think that's my question.
And not for nothing, but when Henry got hurt 2 years ago, the guy that essentially took his spot, Darrington Evans, kind of played his way to that spot.
Right.
Like, he left, like, Derrick Henry got hurt, and the run production did not stagnate. Maybe 10 yards less a game, but, like, it never stagnated like that. He was able to just go and carry that. Remember, they walked into Buffalo and put a stomping on that team with Darrington Evans. Not Derrick Henry, Darrington Evans. In the snow, by the way. Actually, sorry, in the sleet, which is hard to play in the snow, I believe. So, I'm just saying, Tennessee's another team in a really weird spot at a position. Like, do we need Derrick Henry? I think so, yes, for your short down stuff, right? Like, get him in there, or like to start the game or to finish the game off. D-line's tired, just tank him through there. Let him just right in there.
Me personally, you know what? I'm gonna keep these fans on edge again. Remember, I did it earlier with the Packers. I'm gonna do it with the Titans. Maybe I'll talk about them later. Keep on your edge of your seat.
Yeah, but Derrick Henry, I think, was a guy early in the season where that trade deadline coming up was like, oh, should you trade him? And then they decided not to. if we were to rewind time and go back, would you have traded Derrick Henry for maybe some defensive pieces?
No, you don't need to. The defense is fantastic. You don't need defensive pieces.
I feel like the defense is what in Tennessee is what's wrong.
No, it's the offense. The defense is the top 10 defense in the league, I'm pretty sure. Total defense, they're like top 10. They're fantastic defense. It's not them. It's the offensive play scheme sucks.
At the time of the trade, yes. Now I don't know what they were ranked like in terms of the defensive question, because you do got to realize they did give up Kevin Byard too, and that really hurt the secondary. So I don't know if I would have made that trade, because it just depends on what you get. Because if teams are, going, hey, we'll give you a few first rounders, but we might give you a few pieces supporting here, like, yes. But if they're giving you like, hey, we'll give you a third or something, like, hell no.
No. Yeah. All right. Going on to the next game though, Cardinals versus Texans. CJ Stroud still tearing it up in the end, still tearing it up as a rookie, but getting 3 interceptions and still somehow winning is a slap in the face of the Cardinals, I feel. Just still showing how bad the Cardinals are. Yeah, I cannot believe how much CJ Stroud is like tearing it up in the NFL. Like, I know he'd be good. Yes and no.
Yes and no, because you don't expect a guy to come in like this unless they're the true. But Cole and I said this before the draft. This was probably the best quarterback in the draft class.
Oh, yeah.
And he showed it at Ohio State. Even when I've said this before here, we weren't his biggest fans going into last year.
Nope.
And you can go back and watch every single episode and listen of last year's college football show and listen to us change our minds. Literally week by week as it goes on. You can listen to the whole narrative about CJ Stroud change. And then the game against Georgia, what did we say, Cole? The kid's got it.
Is him. Yeah.
The kid's got it. And he just changed the whole complexion of this Texans team. The kid's got incredible accuracy. And honestly, I forgot how quick the ball zips off his hands sometimes.
Oh yeah. He's got
kind of like Herbert. Like Herbert. Like they let go of the ball and it's there. It's kind of impressive. But this kid wants to know more. I don't know if you guys have seen the interview with him and Tom Brady. He asked Tom, if you could give me advice getting into the league, what would you give me? And I don't think Tom's ever been asked that, because he was like, it took him a second. He was like, oh, okay. Remember, this is your job. And CJ was saying, like, the world's spinning around you as you get in here and friends and people are trying to hit you up. He said, remember, this is your job. That's not your place to provide entertainment for these people.
Right.
Your job is to show up and play football. And that, we're seeing this kid do this. Yeah, he had 3 picks this week, but the kid's going to be the AFC Offensive Rookie of the Year. I don't care what anyone says. Hell, he's probably going to be the NFL Rookie of the Year. Honestly, the kid's fantastic. He's doing everything right. And the guys are showing up and playing for Houston. They're playing for the quarterback. They're playing for CJ, and they're playing for D'Amico Ryan.
Yep, D'Amico Ryan.
They're playing for D'Amico too. So
I want to start off by saying, D'Amico Ryan, what a job. You took a place like Houston, and you made this place get belief. 6
playoff team.
4. When was the last time we were seriously sitting here talking about Houston might even going deep in the playoffs? It's been a while. The fact of this defense, like, they fly to the ball. I don't know if you guys, got the chance to watch this. I got to watch it sometime, but not the full thing. But Jalen Petrie, he was flying. Derek Stingley got a pick. He looked a little bit returned to the 2019 form, which we haven't seen since 2019. Blake Cashman, 19 tackles. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Will Anderson, I mean, he had a sack. He looked like him at Bama. I mean, and they did this without some of their guys. Like I mentioned, linebacker injuries were a huge thorn in the side this week and a big scare, but they rose to the occasion and did their job. I cannot say enough about that. I mean, that was amazing. And then on the offense, CJ Stroud, he did his thing. Tank Dell, 8 receptions for 149. Nico Collins had a good game. John Mechie even had a catch in there. I mean, Robert Woods, he looked a little bit returned to form. I really like what I'm seeing out of this Texans team. And Arizona, I will say it is nice to see Kyler Murray come back and play a little bit like the old Kyler Murray. So hopefully he can, continue on that path.
Yeah, and hopefully you actually get your head out of Call of Duty since it just came out and you decide to actually play football. So,
hey, 20 for 30 with 1 TD and 1 pick is not terrible though. I would
straight shooting.
And a rushing touchdown.
Hold on, and more. Guess who his lone touchdown was to?
Who was that?
Rondale Moore! Let's go!
Oh man.
His one reception too. His one reception was Rondale.
His one touchdown was to Rondale.
Rondale.
Oh man, Rondale. Man, you are. I just love saying your name. It just gives me so much energy.
All right, who's next?
But hold on. Does anyone else kind of feel bad for Marquise Brown though?
No.
This season, no. 2 receptions for 18 yards out of the 5 targets that he got.
He's on my fantasy, so I'm a little biased. I'm just gonna say that. I feel a little sad.
All right, going on to the next game though. 49ers still tearing it up against. I wouldn't say the Bucs are. The Bucs are about average. They are on a losing streak, however. 49ers. Like, what more can I even say about the 49ers? Literally the best team on paper in the NFL currently.
These are the 2 most comparable defenses in the league. When you look at how both defenses are built, yeah. The secondary is a great coverage secondary. They're not super fast. They're really good at what they do. Their football IQ is really high. The linebackers on both teams are quick, and they can play every spot in that front area there from the line of scrimmage back to their level, to the second level.
Right.
I think personally. And then both lines, good D tackles, actually fantastic D tackles. One's
talk about him. No.
Vita Vea is a surefire Hall of Famer.
Vita Vea, man. Yeah, how can you what can you even
How can you forget Vita? How can you forget Vita Vea?
That guy, man.
You cannot see it right now, but I'm shaking.
Fred Warner. Shaq Barrett. Not Shaq Barrett. Devin White. There's players that you can compare and go, wow, they line up. These are the 2 most comparable defenses, and both offenses kind of showed you ways to kind of work against both. At the end of the day, the Niners offense is always going to be a bit more explosive than this Tampa Bay team right now. Baker's playing good football.
Yeah.
Baker's playing really good football. 29 to 45, 246 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. That's not terrible.
Right.
But, it's Baker Mayfield numbers. It's Baker Mayfield. That game right there is Baker.
All right. But going on to the 49ers side of the ball, is this the game where people will stop saying that he is a system quarterback with 21 out of 25, with passing, 333 yards with 3 touchdowns? I almost said picks there. I almost ruined his whole career.
Wait
3 touchdowns with this team. Christian McCaffrey getting 78 yards. Man.
To answer your question, no, he's definitely a system quarterback. Just read the tweets. He can't do anything. Worst quarterback in the NFL. Can't believe he's still playing. Get him off.
Yeah, horrible.
I'm so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of it. What does the guy got to do? Does he got to go?
He has to throw a perfect
touchdowns.
Perfect 100% completion percentage with throwing 50 passes. That's what he has to do, and maybe he'll stop getting.
You know what his rating was for this week?
What's that?
158.3.
Wow. 158.3. As
I believe that's perfect.
I always think of him as a rookie because this is his first regular season, or not regular. It's his first
full
start
season.
of being so I always think of him as a rookie. So I want to call him a rookie, but I can't. His second season.
Also, San Francisco has the most underrated skill player in all of football on their team.
Who would that be?
Brandon Ayuk.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ayuk.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Ayuk. He is the most underrated skill player in football.
Do I go as far as to say that Brandon Ayuk is probably better than Debo?
No. Okay, Debo is the vice versa of Le'Veon Bell. He's a receiver that runs the ball really well, where Le'Veon was a running back that caught the ball really well.
Right.
But also, Debo, I think, has been playing partially injured all year. So that explains the uptick in Ayuk's numbers. But, I mean, if you're clicking with someone as a quarterback, you're clicking with someone.
Mm-hmm. And I think Brandon Ayuk is that, that chemistry with Brock Purdy.
He's only good because of the people around him.
Yeah, dude. Christian McCaffrey and, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle.
Straight up trash.
Plug and play, man. Plug and play. We gotta go do it over here. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why guys. Trey Lance is play. Oh, wait.
Oh, right. That's why he's in Dallas.
Brock Purdy's 70-yard throw right into the hands of Brandon Ayuk. Man, what a catch by Brandon Ayuk.
Yep, just look at Ayuk.
Look at Ayuk go as he's got it down the sideline. Breaking it down to the 30, that 20, that 5. Touchdown Niners!
Hey, I want to ask a question.
Cherry pie. Yeah.
Bring it in again. Bring it in.
I got it.
Okay, so to all the people who say that Brock Purdy is just another system quarterback, answer me this question. If any quarterback can go in there and play great, why isn't Jimmy G? And why isn't Sam Darnold? You say any quarterback, but Sam Darnold, I mean, he's still on the roster. He could be playing, right? He could be doing the same thing. If Brock Purdy goes down, you got nothing to worry about, right?
What he said.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just somebody comment back. I'd love to talk to y'all in the comments. Somebody shut me up.
Yeah, listen to what he says, because at the end of the day, we're gonna back this up now. So,
yeah, we are.
Actually, hold on.
Okay,
he was right. Brock Purdy is not a system quarterback. Get out of your heads, clowns.
All right, going to the most atrocious quarterback play that we've seen all week, as far as I would say. Zach Wilson and the Jets getting only 6 points against the Bills, 32 points. Zach Wilson should go back to middle school and maybe.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll let you finish your thing. I got something to spit for you here.
Ooh.
Since that game against, I'm going to find it here. That game against Kansas City, Zach Wilson has thrown for 199, 186, 240, 263, and 263 with one. Okay, he hasn't thrown for many touchdowns. He only had one pick in that span, but he had 3. Hold on. He got sacked 8 times against the Chargers 2 weeks ago and still threw for 263 yards. The kid, since that Kansas City game, has played a lot better. Right. Has it been franchise quarterback-esque? No. But that's the second-year improvement we were looking for 2 years ago or last year or whatever. This is the thing when we say it, the hurry up and wait, the hurry up mentality is bull, because now you're starting to see Zach. He actually has someone to teach him how to play quarterback now. That's not Sam Darnold.
True.
He's learning something. There's someone that can probably talk to him, and you grew up watching it, as a kid, you grew up watching a guy kill it. Always Mr. Bad Guy in the league. He's always got something to say that pisses someone off somewhere. But he's always gone out and let his game back it up. You listen. And I think he's done that with Aaron. Just Buffalo's playing pissed off. This isn't the year for Buffalo. They're playing, I'm just going to say it right now, they're playing mad, and you can tell.
Yeah.
In that game. I don't think that was Zach's fault. I mean, part of it is he didn't fumble the football.
5 sacks, by the way.
Yeah, and both the fumbles were Xavier Gibson and Garrett Wilson. He only contributed one of the 4 turnovers.
And they lost Xavier Gibson and Garrett Wilson. Both lost those fumbles too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I wish these people would look at more than just that. Because the kid's been playing good since he took over when Aaron went down. He's started to play better since that Kansas City game.
I did say this week. He was pretty.
Yeah, this week. But like I said though, that Buffalo team's playing just flat out angry. They shouldn't be 6-5.
No, this team shouldn't be 6-5. No.
Yeah, exactly. And Josh Allen still threw for a pick. Surprise, surprise! Brett Favre over here.
Okay,
I'm get 3 touchdowns.
I'm gonna say this, and I mean this in like the most. Believe me. Okay, let me start off by saying this. Josh Allen. You could ask Chooch. We've watched him since Wyoming. Loved him since Wyoming, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he to me is the most frustrating quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like I love his talent. He's got all the God-gifted ability to be really good. And then he has weeks where he throws 3 picks. He has weeks where he throws 3 touchdowns. He has weeks where he's safe with the ball and makes smart choices. He has weeks to where he looks like he's never played football. Like, I genuinely do not understand how it's this inconsistent. What are we getting this week? Like, can somebody help me out with this? Like, I genuinely, I'm baffled. I'm pissed off. I don't get it.
Yeah, and I don't either. Like, how is, like you said, we've been a fan of his since Wyoming.
Yep.
We told Snyder, you guys are getting a good quarterback. And now this year, you're looking, the last couple of years since you've gotten paid, actually, you haven't looked like shit. I'm just lack of a better term. You've looked like garbage. You haven't done any. Bring it in. Let's go.
Again.
Gosh. Yeah, this is a thing.
This is the Bring It In podcast.
This is
We're
a
changing
thing.
our name.
But Josh Allen, you got to figure it out, man. Like there are some moments where genuinely I think I could throw the football better than you, and I can't throw a football anymore. So your reads, I don't know what's gotten into you, but you need to figure it out. It's nice to see it back with a 3 touchdown to 1 pick ratio, but you got
the other way around.
Yeah, for real. with all the talent and intangibles you have, you should be the best quarterback in football. Every year, you should be throwing for 4,800 yards, 35, 40 touchdowns, 7 picks, 8 picks, maybe 9. Hell, I'll give you 10.
Can we talk about Stephon Diggs only getting 4 receptions also? Still not getting that many receptions.
He had 8 targets, though.
8 targets and then 27
That's
yards.
The most targets on the team.
So at least Josh is trying.
Yeah.
Josh is trying for him.
The defenses are going to play. They know that's the duo.
Right.
So you'd play them a lot tighter.
But
don't
Khalil
let the ball
should
get Stephon.
Man. Khalil
And I don't know why he's not getting more love from coaches, because he's been
consistent.
Yeah.
3 receptions for 115 yards and 1 touchdown. That's crazy to me. That someone can have those low receptions and then get that many yards.
See, my question too, like, and it's not really a rip here, but Puka Nacua kind of had the same thing, right? Like, he had these phenomenal weeks where he put up really good things. Shakir is doing the same thing, and he doesn't get near the attention that Puka does, and it kind of baffles me.
Well, and Shakir did this last year for Buffalo too. Late in the season, he was the guy. Him and Gabe Davis were the guy. I feel like this offense kind of does like a weird 360, like not 360. They kind of like reverse it, kind of downward, and then come back up, and like, oh, give the ball to Stephon and Josh. Okay, week 11 hits. Everyone else, and then back up again.
Yeah,
like, oh, we're gonna fool them. We got them. Oh, we didn't win the Super Bowl. Just kidding.
We lost.
We didn't even make it past the divisional round. We choked it at home. You're kidding.
Choked it at home. That's the Bills motto.
Yeah. Bills Mafia, let's cry.
Let's cry.
Next game.
Bills country, let's throw a pick. All right, going on to the next game though. By one single point, Rams squeak out this. Was this an upset? Yeah, it was. It was definitely an upset.
I don't think so.
It's the Rams, and people are going to not like the Rams. Like I'm talking about, like Vegas is not going to like the Rams.
Yeah, but Stafford's back.
The Rams.
Stafford is back, but people favor the Seahawks more than most teams. For some reason, I don't know why.
Do you mind if I start here?
Go ahead.
All right. So, Kenneth Walker, what in the actual heck was the offensive coordinator thinking, or Pete Carroll, whoever decided this, that goes, we're going to give Zach Charbonnet 15 carries for 47 yards. And don't get me wrong, I like Charbonnet. He's a good back. He was good at UCLA. Kenneth Walker is different. He is Derrick Henry different.
Kenneth's been playing with injuries the last couple of weeks in his knee and ankle.
I get it, but like only 4 carries. I get you want to keep him safe, but like give the guy the ball more. I mean, at least 10, 4,
at least 7. Like,
I mean, and I don't even have my fantasy, so don't even go there, folks. But like,
yeah, I have him on fantasy. I suffered.
But I mean, really, only 4. Get him more involved. I don't care if he's got one leg. Get him the ball.
Man, you gotta love it when Cole's like mildly upset, and you can't really tell if he is or not.
Also, just want to point out that Royce Freeman had 17 carries.
Oh yeah, 17 carries, and
see, they feature their back.
Also, this was an incredibly low game for sacks.
Yeah,
LA only had 2, and Seattle had a whole whopping 1.
Zach Evans had only 1 carry with no yards. They did not. He ran the ball one time and was like, "Okay, you're done. You can go sit down now."
Yeah, give it to our actual back.
But yeah, that's a stupid ad is playing on a tab. Puka Nacua, 5 receptions, 70 yards. Cooper Kupp only got 1 target for 11 yards.
I don't think the offense saw the field very much.
No, I don't think so. But they still won. Matthew Stafford coming back, 17 out of 31 with 190 yards, 1 pick, and 1 interception. Matt Stafford. That's kind of. I feel like that's kind of average for Matt Stafford at this point in his career. Don't you think?
And also, are we going to talk about the field goal that ended up losing this game? Jason Myers pulled a Noah Ruggles.
No, Noah Ruggles was way worse. Noah Ruggles was way worse than that one.
And yet you had him on that fantasy draft one time.
I didn't know who he was. I needed a kicker. I'm sorry.
I just want to say, please, no more of that.
I know who he is now. Calm down. But yeah, that field goal was bad. It was. I think it was wind. Or wait, where was it at? Was it at Seahawks? No, okay, it was at the Rams. So, but yeah, no wind even. That's a closed stadium. That was pretty bad.
All right, let's go the Vikings and Broncos.
Yeah, second last game of today. Again, another win by 1 point. Josh Dobbs' career is over. Put him on the bench. No, I'm joking.
Trade him for a 7th round pick.
Trade him for Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Get another Brock Purdy.
Last time.
No, but Josh Dobbs, he did good, but he just not enough for this Broncos. Cole, is what we were trying to tell the Broncos actually happening? Is the defense actually stepping up for once in their lives, even though they're only winning by 1 point?
Yes.
Hey, you know what? Good for you guys. It only took
in our ideas.
Hey, can we get some pay for that?
Yeah, right. Especially Jacob with that Ravens thing. Right. And Javion Clowney. Someone pay that man.
So Broncos. I do have a question though. Like, why did it take 11 weeks to get this team to be like, oh yeah, we can play defense?
Yeah, literally the number one defense last year is actually waking up at week 11. But
hear me out.
Okay.
The defense wanted the offense to know what it felt like last year.
Yeah.
That's my theory. The defense is like, we're gonna take a break. We'll see you guys later. Okay, bye.
No, but Russell Wilson, I don't think Russell Wilson has been doing bad like at all this season, which is incredible to say, like thinking of how he was last year. Russell Wilson,
That's right.
Russell Wilson, 27 out of 35 for 259 yards, 1 TD and no pick. Yeah, this game, it was confusing to watch because the Josh Dobbs hype is like pretty explosion, and he didn't do bad either. 20 out of 32 for 221 yards, 1 TD, but the one pick.
Right.
Just put him in the ground, just bury him already. Horrible.
I mean, for a guy that never got a chance and probably should have when he came out of college, he's showing it's kind of making a point.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Like him doing good.
Yeah,
I forget who else, but you guys get what I was saying.
Yeah,
I wondered what that look was.
I think this is going to be a trend of quarterbacks that were, I don't want to say like rookies drafted this year, or like probably people drafted in about 3 years ago. I think they can get a chance, depending on what Josh Dobbs is, because before this, coach would look at a stat sheet. Oh, this guy drafted 2-3 years ago. Barely played, backup for a different team. Let's trade for him and see what he can do.
It's yam time.
And then give him like 5 attempts, and then that's it. And then that's it. But then this is kind of a turnaround for people who had never really gotten chances. So I'm still happy for Josh Dobbs, though.
Yeah. Also, I think college football 4 or 5 years ago was closer to what the professional model is now.
Yeah.
And when Dobbs was there, he beat Georgia. He beat Georgia,
yes.
So
it was him throwing himself the ball.
No, I mean like just his
I know.
His heart. And I think Cole can back that one up. His heart is, and the kid's fantastic. Why he never got a chance at Tennessee is mind-boggling to me. But
he's getting chances now.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. All right, going on to the last and final game of today, though. I am happy about this win. The Super Bowl rematch that we've been waiting for. The Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles taking this one, though, when nothing mattered. When it didn't matter.
That's the Philly way.
When it didn't matter.
As a Phillies fan.
Did you guys see Taylor Swift?
Don't care.
I didn't even watch the game. I did not want to.
I didn't either. I'm going to be honest.
But yeah, this Eagles team looked very good, especially in the third and fourth quarter. Especially the defense, not letting the Chiefs score a touchdown in the third or fourth quarter. Crazy. Patrick Mahomes getting 2 touchdowns, throwing 1 pick with 177 yards. Like the defense for this Philly team is really, really good. I think it's some of the best I've seen in a while.
Is DeAndre Swift the piece Philadelphia needed?
Yes.
Also, I want to point out this wasn't played on shit grass either.
Yeah, no. They didn't like water it and like and then water it again.
Yeah. Amazing what happens when your turf guy retires, right?
When he doesn't suck.
Yeah, but people need to get their grip boots.
Yeah.
Grip boots. Catch the football. You're paid to do it. Do it. You have arguably about one of the most accurate deep passers ever throwing you the football.
You know what? Patrick Mahomes is a system quarterback.
Catch the ball. It's here. It's here. You can catch it. Look at. See these? They're fingers. Wrap them around it.
Get your hand out of the cement to ferment and then catch the ball. But I'm going to say this, and this is not relating to this week, because actually it might. Jalen Hurts is more of a system quarterback than Brock Purdy.
Agreed.
What do you think?
Yes.
Sorry. I got an update. I got an update for something else. Sorry.
Jalen Hurts is more of a system quarterback than Brock Purdy.
No.
Really?
I think they're equal.
No. Not this season. Brock Purdy's doing way better.
Look at what the team. But Jalen Hurts is still putting up numbers.
Yeah, but
oh my God, he had one game with 158 passing yards and one interception. Someone call the police. Hey, highway robbery here for the Eagles. You know, the quarterback just sucks all of a sudden. He's a system guy. When he's had literally last year, he was fantastic. Okay, yeah. Maybe
I like
AJ Brown
Jalen
helped that. Let me get there. Maybe AJ Brown. You asked the question. I'm answering now. Maybe AJ Brown is the reason. I think AJ Brown is more the reason why his game stepped up than anything. I don't think it's the system. I think AJ Brown is the reason. And Nick Sirianni is honestly a really good coach, and he's got the best offensive line to play behind. But that's, forget all that shit too.
I'm not talking about this week. I've been saying, from what I've been seeing of Jalen Hurts throughout this whole season, he's been making very questionable plays, trying to force the ball out a lot when it could have easily just been thrown away, and then it turns into a really, really bad looking interception. I'm not saying because of this week or a couple games. I've been saying like nearly every week I see highlights of him making a pretty questionable pass that turns into a pick because he just wasn't thinking correctly.
Let me ask you, who's he throwing the ball to in those? AJ and Devontae?
I'm not sure. He throws right to the other team, is what I see.
I mean, we're not asking Josh Allen if Josh Allen's a system quarterback, so why are we asking if Jalen is?
Well, he's also Philly is also winning.
Then why are we asking? Oh, okay. Josh Allen had Brian Daboll and was doing fantastic. He left, and look at now he's garbage.
I don't think assistant quarterbacks are bad. I'm just saying that Jalen Hurts is not doing as well, and his team is really helping him out a lot. That's what I'm getting at.
Well, everyone's going to have a target. You're going to have a target on your back when you're the NFC champion and went to the Super Bowl last year. Everyone wants to beat you.
True.
Everyone's going to give you your A+ game if you're one of the final two teams in your conference or just in general. Everyone's going to come out and then be, hey guys, we beat that Super Bowl champ. We beat our NFC champion last year. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, let's get this going here and figure out what we got to do to keep this momentum up.
Right.
Everyone's going to be gunning for you. Any given Sunday.
All right. I'm just saying. Even Cole agreed with me with that statement.
Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about, for the record, I wanted to clarify this. If we're talking who is more of a system QB their whole careers, I am saying Jalen Hurts is more of a system QB than Brock Purdy. That is all I was saying.
I don't know. We'd have to see what Sirianni's offense looks like without Jalen as the quarterback. Like that.
That's a fair assumption.
Like after it's evolved, like we've legitimately seen 4 quarterbacks playing Shanahan's offense.
Who is there?
Jimmy G won. Sam Darnold played a couple games.
Trey Lance had
Trey Lance. There's one more in there. No, it might just be Jimmy G.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't think of anybody else.
Well, anyways, you guys get what I'm saying though. Like, we haven't really seen Sirianni's offense. I mean, we have with Minshew, but Minshew still played good.
Yeah,
and they lost to Dallas last year because of Minshew. If I'm being honest with you, but he still kept them in the game where they probably would have won that if Hurts was there. So that's my point behind it.
Right. But back to the game though, Patrick Mahomes throwing for 24 out of 43 attempts. When you have Isaiah Pacheco getting 19 carries as well, you can hand the ball. I'm positive that you have another running back that you can give it to besides Isaiah Pacheco. Let him breathe for a minute because he got 89 yards. Yeah, exactly. And he got 2 carries for 20 yards. This receiving team needs to catch, though. That's probably what's going to be the downfall of this Chiefs team this season. It was bad in week 1 when they faced the Lions, but like it's becoming way too big of a problem. It's not just it's first week. It's the first game of the season jitters.
So I want to ask
you're losing
you guys
games now.
a question real quick. Would you blame the wide receiver coach or would you blame the wide receivers? That's where I stand with this.
I don't think it has to do with coaching. I
don't think so either.
Once you're a professional receiver, you should be good at catching a football. You get drafted because you catch the football and run routes better than anyone.
Yeah.
And you're starting on a Super Bowl team because on a team that's a contender every year because of how good you are. And your quarterback very, very, actually, I'm going to say once in a blue moon, overthrows or misses his target.
Right.
And that was in your breadbasket. Patrick Mahomes might not have said it's the receivers, but it's the receivers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not him. It's not going to be him until he legitimately plays like garbage for a few weeks. And even if Patrick Mahomes has 150 yards in a game, he's going to throw for 4 next week. Watch. This week, I should say.
Yeah. All right. That is the conclusion for week 11, though. It's time to go on to our fantasy segment. Who wants to go first, though?
I'll lead us off. Yeah, I got you guys.
Right.
Chooch. This is the good and bad and the mez of this week's fantasy team.
All right, so Chooch. My good. You know what? I'm going to say it. Saquon. 28 fantasy points. You only had 83 yards, and there were guys that have had more and have gotten less points. So you're 83 yards, and you've been the bright spot for that team in a very dim year. I don't know what else to say except for thank you. You're fantastic, and we appreciate you. So my man is only here because they gave up 31 points and still had 9 points. The Commanders' defense. That's the only reason why they're mad. Besides that, boo. So this one I struggled finding a bad here for this part. Just gonna give me I'm gonna say it right here. It's not Pickens' fault, and I'm gonna segue quickly. Pickens only had 5.7 points.
That's bad.
Wow.
That's all I'm saying. That's my cliffhanger for my next part. So that's who I got.
Okay.
I'll go next.
Yep.
All right. So mine, I was gonna say, that guy who plays for the Giants, pretty good.
Want him back like Saquon.
But somebody had to take him, so it is what it is. It's a new day. We move on here. We don't hold on to the past. Okay, maybe a little bit. But for me, I'm gonna go with the boy from the Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray.
Mm-hmm.
I was very impressed. I honestly cannot say enough good things about Kyler Murray this week. I was not expecting him to come out and ball like he did. He went out there.
He balls.
Exactly. He went out there and went on a tear. He had 24-66 this week, 214 passing yards, 1 rushing TD, 51 rushing yards. He's returning to form. I am psyched to see this again. Because like I said, I don't love Kyler Murray, but I do like it when he plays good because he was pretty good in college, if you remember. All right. Now on to my man. I don't like doing this because he's a young guy, but Jordan Addison, buddy, you had 590, 44 receiving yards, 3 receptions. I'm disappointed because I thought you were going to do better. I started you over DK Metcalf this week thinking he'll go off. He's playing Denver. He did not. But he still did something, still had a few nice catches, so that's why you're my man, not my awful. So just get better next week for the sake of my heart rate, please. Okay, and last but not least, we're going into the bad, and boy, oh boy, are we plunging with this one. Justice Hill from the Ravens. And this really doesn't go against him. It really kind of irks me. Because if you remember watching this guy at all, he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of potential. And he does not get utilized. So this is more on the Ravens than it is him. Utilize the man. And he's not on my team, for the record. He actually is on a team I'm playing in a few weeks, so I probably shouldn't be saying this. But get him more involved, please. He definitely has the potential to sign. Him or Cole Kmet was going to be my bad. So either way, get them more utilized, please.
All right.
End this off, Jake.
Yep. So I don't think it's really a question for my good. I'm glad I put him on my fantasy, even though I still lost. Calvin Ridley got 27.60 points. Like I was debating because he has not been good in fantasy wise. He's not been good at all, really. And he comes in there against Tennessee and then gets 27.60. That's incredible. For my Mez, I got. Now I'm thinking. Oh, I got Jerry Jeudy. You got 8.30. I wish Jerry Jeudy could, I wish he could be something, because he's an average wide receiver that can get the ball really good, but it's just no. With 8.30, no. You're not that guy. And then for my bad, it's Kenneth Walker.
Hey, we agree.
With 2.10 points. 2.10. You made me lose this. If I had Chuba Hubbard in this on my roster, I could have won.
Ouch.
That was bad. Oh my god, Kenneth. And I don't even blame him. I blame the Seahawks. Oh, that hurt. It really hurt.
Again, if he has one leg, get him the ball. Don't go.
All right, but it's time to go into our If We Were GM segment. If you don't know how this segment works, we each picked one, or maybe did you guys pick two?
I picked one.
I picked one this time around.
Okay, so if we want to, we could have picked two, but each of us picked one team of what we would make, and since we're in sort of the end of the mid-season, we're going to talk about maybe in the off season what we would improve, what signings we would make, what trades we would make, and the off season, because I know trade deadlines are gone. Well, trade deadlines are here. Just basically any improvement that we would do for a team that we have chosen. Who wants to start first, though?
Ooh, okay. Cheers.
I think Cole wants to
go. So if I was GM, and I'm not going to do my Giants, I'm going to segue from what I ended that fantasy thing with, the Steelers. Where? Yes, we fired Matt Canada. Not we. They fired Matt Canada, which was going to be my number one thing. You did it already. Thank you. You made my job that much easier. Now, your 30th ranked offense. Yeah, 30th. You know who they're behind? Tennessee, New York, and New England. Oh, and Cincinnati, Denver. Everyone that's not the Jets and the Panthers. But
that's insane to me.
Chicago offense isn't even that bad compared to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh has a better record because of how good the defense is. Now, the defense is 25th in the league because of how much time they spend on the field.
Mm-hmm.
So the coordinator's gone. Now, I'm changing the scheme up. Kenny Pickett, and I'm running a two-back backfield. I'm getting Najee the ball straight north, south, east, west, Jalen Warren all day. George Pickens, Deontay, and Freiermuth, some nice, decent under routes to get it going. Like, if you want to run a quicker tempo, inside run, underneath. And then start midway through the second quarter, I'm opening that bitch up and keeping these guys off balance. You have to keep them off balance, and you have the guys to do it. Let Kenny be Kenny. Let Kenny Pickett be the freak athlete we all know he is. Let him throw it up to that freak receiver you got out there. So, and the defense, just keep doing your thing. When the offense scores points this week, everyone can take a deep breath. And if this offense turns around, this is the team to beat in the AFC. They're talented enough. Mike Tomlin's been there. I'm not firing him. I don't care how bad I don't care. The guy gets the best out of the team every time. As long as he's got the right coordinators. He gets 100%. The best out of the team, and the players respect him. Yes, Steelers fans, everyone's opinion on the guy is so up and down because of how long he's been there and how it's been with him there. But you did the thing I was going to do, but now I'm letting my young guys shine now. Exactly. I'm maybe getting a couple more pieces in the linebacking core. The secondary has been great. Get a couple pieces to help out TJ, a couple O-line pieces maybe to give us a little bit more time. Besides that, we're letting it ring, man. Let freedom sing.
I love it.
Exactly.
Is that going or you?
Yep. You can go. I'll say mine for last.
All right. So I was keeping you up with some hints maybe about different teams that I could talk about throughout the episode. If you were paying attention, I brought up some folks, but I've decided on one. And this team, the reason I bring them up is because, well, let's just say they infuriate me a lot. So, the LA Chargers. Now, I could make this very simple. I could say fire Staley and then end my thing, because, I mean, quite literally, that would just be too obvious. But we're not doing that, because we always go the extra mile here. So, first order of business, I'm firing Staley. Get this guy away from me. Put a restraining order on him. He is not allowed even in the stadium. I don't care. Get him out. He can't even be a fan. He can't even buy a ticket to the game. I don't care. Get out. Okay. Now that that's taken care of, now we got some personnel issues. You only have one true defensive tackle on your team because everybody else is kind of not there because of injuries. So that's a huge problem. Your depth, we need to address that. Whether we do this in the draft or free agency or, well, you can't make a trade anymore. So I guess we're kind of screwed for now. But
wait till the offseason, yeah.
Exactly. So if I was in charge, we would, in free agency, depending on who's there, would make a move. And if nobody, then we are taking in the draft because there is a lot of good players in this draft at D-line. Take your pick. Heck, I might even try and get Mekhi Wingo if he declares. He might still stay at LSU. I don't know. All right, so that's first. Second, I'm getting cornerback help because you only have Asante Samuel Jr., who's really good. And everybody else, they're okay in the corner department. Then, for free safety, you have Derwin James. That guy, he's staying. We're locking him up for life. He can't leave him, even if he wants to. I don't care. He's staying. So we're keeping Derwin. But for free safety, we're going elsewhere. We're looking for any team who is, heck, I might even try and call up the Ravens and be like, yo, what do you want for Kyle Hamilton? I will trade anything.
No, he is ours. You do not get that, man.
I mean, seriously, I'm not joking. I'd give them anything they wanted. I'd give them a kitchen sink. I'd give them a nice house in LA, whatever they're talking about. All right. So then, next, on top of that, last order of business here, because you might be thinking to yourself, well, why isn't he talking about the offense? The offense is fine. Leave the offense alone. We don't need to touch the offense. It's pretty good. I mean, maybe another wide receiver, but I'm not going to pick on that. So my last order of business would be to touch up the edge position. Because don't get me wrong, you got some really good edge guys. I mean, obviously Khalil Mack, but he is getting older. Nick Williams, he's been okay. He's been kind of shoddy. Joey Bosa, of course, but he's injured, so that's rough. And then Austin Johnson. So I would just add another elite edge guy to learn, especially from Joey Bosa, so that way when Joey does, hang it up, say it's over, we got somebody else. So yeah, those are the changes I definitely would be making if I was this Chargers team. And also, if you can get any, trade value out of any of these guys, depending on what the deals are, do it. But I'm not too hopeful in that.
All right. Time to go to me. The
Yes, sir.
main event, sort of. All right. So if I was GM, I was originally going to do the Chargers, but I decided to switch it up a bit. I hate you.
Hey, I had to get you back for all the times you did it to me on the college football show.
Okay. So I'm doing the Patriots because even though I don't like the Patriots, I want them to do something. Like I want them to do anything like important with their time. First step is I know it's not fully his fault. I know that's not the reason why they're losing and why they suck. But Mac Jones is not your franchise quarterback. All right. I'm sorry that I have to say it. He's not your franchise quarterback. This draft is going to be stacked with quarterbacks. This one and the next one is going to be stacked with quarterbacks. You got Caleb Williams. The fact that you're in the running to maybe get Caleb Williams should not be happening. This O-line is horrendous. Mac Jones is getting sacked 21 times. That's not the worst, but you could still improve that by a lot. So I would pick up, when that offseason comes, I would definitely work on getting O-linemen. And then your second biggest weakness, because it's not your defense, even though you're letting the Saints pick up 34 points on you. That's them on the bad day, but on a good day, you're pretty safe. But I would definitely be picking up some O-linemen. Maybe Taylor Lewan from Tennessee, that's 32. Even if they're not old, I would also work on the wide receiver rooms. And I'm getting rid of Belichick. I'm getting rid of Belichick. His time there is up, and I feel like he's not a bad coach. I feel like he's a coach, but he's also a part owner, I'm pretty sure. Am I correct by saying that?
That I don't know.
What?
The Bill Belichick being a GM as well as
no,
well as owner?
I mean, no, the GM's someone else, but it's because his opinion. Robert Kraft's the owner.
Affects it so much, yes. So
because
sorry, getting wide receivers that run a 5.2 is not it. I'm sorry, Bill. They used to work, but not anymore. When you have Tyreek Hill running at like 30 miles an hour, I don't know what else to fix about this team, because the defense, you guys have been talking about how good their defense is. It could be better, but it's still that can win you games. It's just this offense that is, the receiving room is lackluster, and Mac Jones is not your franchise. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this team. It's just pitiful.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit the biggest nail on the head there too, in terms of wide receivers running like 470. Like, get some quicker.
All right, we have the 10th overall pick. This guy runs a 4.3. All right, what about that guy? He runs a 6.10.
Yeah, draft that guy.
Get that 6'10" guy. Get that 6'10" guy over here. He knows how to run a route. Let's get that guy.
Let's get Julian Edelman. He was a quarterback. Like, seriously, right. You passed up on Randy Moss and Percy Harvin, and you're like, yeah, let's get some guy who can run. He's like a 4.7.
And you still got Randy Moss. You still somehow got Randy Moss.
Right.
But Yeah. All right. But that will be it for us. This has been JCP End Zone Perspective Podcast. It's finally have Chooch back on the show. I was starting to think he hates the NFL by now.
Nah, I've just been busy.
But all right. It has been a great showing with you. Have a fun NFL weekend and college weekend, which the episode will be for college.
Thursday or Friday? We have
probably Friday.
Probably Friday. And I won't be on, but I'll be on for one game in particular, and you should know what that is if you've been watching the shows.
The Oklahoma State Oklahoma game? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that happened already.
Florida State.
Why? So both teams can lose?
But that has been it for JCP End Zone's Perspective. This is Jay from JCP, and we're out.